how many people in here, be honest, the doors are shut, it's gonna hurt you. I just wanna know, how many people in here ordered them from Amazon or have been to the library? One person, thank you, Rest, one person out of 2 classes, out of 60 people. That's unacceptable. And I don't think you would do that for another professor, and I feel like you're taking advantage of me. I don't give you homework, and I spend time on campus, and I see students in the quad with their laptop open. I see them studying together in the cafeteria, right? I see athletes studying in the bleachers. Right? I know you're getting homework from other people, and I don't give it to you because I treat this like a business, and your boss doesn't give you homework, so I don't give you homework. But man, you are taking advantage of me big time. I got 20 people not coming to class, and I got 59 people not looking up the APA.
To be fair, I've done APA every year since I've been here, so I need to go look it up.
That's fine. 58 people. All right, that's fair, and your papers reflect it. Right? But now I've got to take half a class and teach you APA like we're in the 8th grade. All right? And I don't like doing that. I like treating you like an adult, and if I tell you to go learn APA, you ought to be able to do it. You can Google it in 10 minutes. Okay? Anybody that didn't have APA is never going to make an A. Now, Noah is a good student, and he didn't double space, he didn't use APA. David had me before, and he wrote the same way he did for me before in a memo form. All right, which I understand that. Rest, raise your hand, Rest. All right, Rest has every practice test has gotten better. Just like that's the plan. That's the way it's supposed to work. He has a opening page that's right out of APA. Then he has the page numbers in the upper right hand corner. Then he has his name in the left. He has double spaced. And the page number on each one. It is so simple. Now, David will tell you, I don't teach the APA. I think the APA is a bunch of crap. You will never use it again when you graduate. You will use it for every professor on campus. My boss says professors are getting students who don't know how to do the APA because you're not teaching the freshmen. Okay, that's fair. I'll teach you. I teach in a memo style, which is what your boss wants. But they want me to teach what the 3rd and 4th year professors want. You do a heading. Blank piece of paper, centered. All the information that you need. Your name, practice test number 1 or number 28 or whatever. 101B. Don't just put 101 because I got 60. Otherwise I have to go. If you put 101, I have to open my computer. I have to go to Wolf Den. I have to go to academics. I have to go to 101A. Have to go to a grade book to see if that person's in that class. If they're not, I have to go back to academics, back to 101B, down back to grade book, see if that person's in that class. All right, so put A or B. Put your name. Put your assignment, what it is. first page, in the left-hand column, you put the same information. And a number 1 in a different font. Now, Rest hand wrote his, but the little number that he put with 1 or 2 is smaller than his normal writing. That's exactly correct. So if you're using an 11-point font, when you go to put the page number, use a 10-point font. And you then write your paper double spaced. These practice test grades mean nothing. I've said that over and over and over again, but they are for you to learn. Right? So if you aren't doing this, you're not learning. And I continue to get, I've told you before, I've got the bios somewhere in here. I've got all the bios. First day of class, I said, Google AP7, write your bio, 1 page. And about 10 people did it. Nobody double-spaced, nobody used a heading. All right. Well, I want to be able to take the worst of the writing of the bio and say, this is the student that I'm getting out of South Carolina high schools. Or this is the student that doesn't know how to write. And then I want to take, and this is what I'm getting by midterm. So I want to be able to tell my boss, my students are learning. We've gone from this bio to rest paper that's an A. Now, to me, that is so silly. But I have to do that this semester for the people that I work for. Does everybody understand that? Okay? So, it's just like you're doing it for your coach. So, when you leave here, you're going to do course evaluations as to whether or not you like me. That's fine. But then I have to be assessed by my bosses. And one of the things they're going to say is, well, this semester you were supposed to teach AP7. And I want to be able to take the bios, and I want to be able to take the midterms, and I want to be able to take the finals and say, and I did that. I had great students, and every one of them got better every paper they wrote. Okay. I had 1 A in 2 classes. Had a bunch of B pluses. Noah's would have been A's, but he didn't use any AP7s. Same thing, I had somebody in the first class, would have been an A, but didn't use any AP7. The content was good. Tyler, your content was good. So everybody's learning this stuff. Okay, y'all are learning that quicker than other classes that I've had. Your content is good, but we've got to write better. Now, the other thing, in addition to the AP7, is you cannot use slang. Okay? You can't say, this is going to be a weird partnership. You can't say they're going to go broke. You can't say, getting a loan is stupid. And I got all of that. Okay, you can't write it like you're writing a letter home to your sister or brother. You've got to write it with business language. Don't use slang. Also, don't use transitional phrases. But Therefore, in my opinion, I think, well, I know it's your opinion, and I know it's what you think. It's got your name on it. Right? Your boss is going to know that. Anything like that, there's probably 50 words. The other class said that I had not done this with them, so I probably haven't done it with you. I'm serious about this, okay? I'm very serious about this. Let me show you how to proofread your work, how to proofread your college work. It will help you in every class that you do. Take your finished draft, doesn't matter whether it's typed or you're printed out or handwritten, and go down and look, take a blank piece of paper and put it over the last sentence. And read the last sentence by itself. Based on the requirements for the labor needed, the Human Resources Department should contain people who have experience in salesmanship. All right? That's a good sentence. It's got a comma in it. All right? So that sentence is fine. So then you go to the next sentence. Also, they'll have to set up a Human Resources Department to take charge of hiring staff. That's a bad sentence. No also. Just do the next sentence. If you just take those out. No howevers. I hate however. Just take it out and write the same sentence. Then go to the next one. Thus, they'll need to insure their products and add license agreements to the sales. You don't need thus. Listen to this sentence. They'll need to insure their products and add license agreements to their sales. That's a better business sentence. The thus adds nothing. Okay, you think it makes you sound smarter. Okay, those are English department words. Those are religious department words. They're not business words. Proof backwards. I mean, I had to write briefs, 30, 40 pages, to go to a judge, to go to the Court of Appeals, to go to the South Carolina Supreme Court, and you can bet I use that method. Because I don't want to misspell something. And you will catch misspelling, you will catch things that aren't sentences. All right. Any questions about AP? It shouldn't be a problem from now on. All right, this is where we are. This is what I've got to do. I've got to send another email about attendance. Those of you that are in here are attending, and I appreciate it, but we've got too many people missing. All right, now, is there anybody in here that has turned in a paper by email or handwritten, but usually by email, and has not received a response from me? You got to learn AP. You got to watch the YouTubes as I put them up, and you've got to schedule professors' conferences. Now, I pride myself on doing well enough in class that people don't feel like they've got to run to my office to get something explained. Because if you don't understand it, you can ask in here, and I'll explain it, and then chances are, other people need that too. But I do have office hours on Monday and Wednesday. I finish class at 12. I go eat lunch. I'm in my office by 12:30. I'm there till 3 o'clock. On my door, which is room 302 in McClurg, it's in the syllabus. You can call me on the phone. You can Skype me, FaceTime me, whatever you need. So if you didn't do well on any of these things I sent back, if you got any questions, please come and see me before the midterm. We got a little bit of time left, and we got time left to add another issue. We got forms of business, business equation, ethics, human resources, management, and we have contracts. Now, the first couple of years I taught this class, I kind of combined it with business law and went into a bunch of things that really weren't part of the 101. So the only business law that you're going to get is just some hit or miss, just a couple of things. One of them is contracts. Contracts has 3 elements. Consideration is a fancy word for dollars being paid or value or something exchanged. Contracts are a mutual promise. Now, you have to have all 3. You have to have offer, acceptance, and consideration. And there are, in business, most litigation are over contracts. Over contracts that somebody doesn't pay, over contracts that are breached, and you end up with businesses suing each other. You would think that all 3 would be easy, but they're not. Offer can be as simple as a piece of paper in Dollar General that says milk 30% off. That's an offer. That's an offer to come buy milk for 30% off. Right? So you go in there and you get a jug of milk from the Dollar General store, the College Dollar General, and you take it up to the counter. That's an acceptance. You pay the $2. That's the consideration. So if you, this is, make it as simple as possible, if they offer milk at 30% off and you pick up the milk out of the chilled refrigerator and you walk out without paying for it, it's not only shoplifting, it's a breach of contract. Okay, I mean, because you've got an offer and an acceptance and then there's no consideration. If you go in and they offer the milk and you pick it up and you take it to the register and say, oh shoot, I forgot my purse. How about hang on to this for me and I'll come back and pay for it in an hour. Right? And if the clerk says, yeah, I'll do that, then there is an offer, there is an acceptance, but there is no consideration paid. Okay. Another example, I had a kid cutting my grass before I moved into the mill that restored an old house downtown, and my neighbor across the street, I said, Josh, you cut my grass. He's about 15. I said, I'll give you $20. He cut it. I gave him $20. A couple of weeks later, I said, will you cut my grass again? He did it. I gave him the $20. And that went on for 5 years. All right? And it got to where I didn't have to say anything. If the grass was long, he would cut it. Yes?
You told us the story already.
This in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll tell it again. All right. Thank you, though. What was the point of the story? You remember?
Yeah, you was like, because y'all had a verbal contract.
All right, and what's that called?
Hold on, I
Same thing in a partnership.
A
Huh?
valid contract.
Nope. Nope. See, I knew I should.
Oral contract.
Oral contract.
Yeah.
Nope.
Implied contract.
Implied
Yeah.
and express.
Gotta keep guessing that shit till you get it right.
What does express mean in the law?
In the law.
Written. You can have a partnership with a handshake. You can write it out on a Starbucks napkin, and that makes it an express partnership. Implied is by the acts of the parties. So when Josh comes to my door and says, you owe me $60, I've cut it 3 times, and I say, I'm not going to pay you that, we don't have a contract. Okay? That's not fair. And business tries to be fair, so it's implied by me paying him and him cutting the grass over a period of time, it becomes an implied contract. Contracts are valid, which means they're good, or void, which means one of these 3 things are missing. Contracts are not broken, they are breached. So learn the terminology. In addition to these 3 things, there is a 4th called capacity. You cannot enter into a contract if you are not of age, if there is a disability, if you do not have authority, or if it's illegal. You know, 20 years ago, I used to have people tell me, hey man, that dude owes me $10,000. I gave him a bunch of crack and he hadn't paid me and I want to sue him. You know, nope, don't work that way. They have to be of age. A 6-year-old can't sign his daddy's name. What age does it have to be? There is no rule. Okay, there is no rule. It has to be of an age that understands what they're doing. My lawnmower guy could sign it at 15, you know. I don't know if he could have signed it at 10. That has to be determined by the court. Disability, if there's a mental health issue, basically that is if somebody knows what they're doing or doesn't do. Now, I've got 16 grandkids. One of my granddaughters, who is 4, has Down syndrome. Right? Wonderful little girl. Clemson University has a program for Down syndrome students where they have professors one-on-one, and they actually can get somebody through college that has Down syndrome. Now, my Maddie has good physical skills, but she's not oral yet. But let's say when Maddie grows up, I get her a job somewhere as the mail in the mail room, right? And you know, she pushes a cart around and hands people their mail that work in that building. Well, if a courier comes to the door and says, I need somebody to sign this contract, and Maddie says, I'll sign it, okay, that's not the capacity, and that contract would not be valid, it would be void. It happens more often with a vice president signing for the president, because they got an ego saying, well, I'm the vice president of the company, I'll sign. You know, I'm the chief financial officer, I'll sign. The CEO's at lunch, but I'll sign. And that usually results in a lawsuit. Having the authority to sign is the big deal out of that. Now, One of the things that I didn't put over here, paragraphs. Out of 60 students, I got half of them that were never a paragraph. It might be 2 pages, and it was just continued writing with no breaks. So let's say I give you a contracts question, and 4 students are making tennis rackets, and they need you say partnership or corporation, and it doesn't matter, and then you say this partnership needs a contract with a company that provides string in order to string the rackets, and you would then have in a paragraph, a contract is a mutual promise, offer, acceptance, and consideration signed by somebody that had capacity, and they need a contract that is valid. You would then have in a paragraph, they need a contract. Have a paragraph. Offer is. Acceptance is. Consideration is. Okay? Be proud of what you turn in. Look at it. Okay, look at it. I won't say whose this is, but that's 1 page on that side, 1 page on this side, and there's not a paragraph on it. Right? And that's not college work. That's not college work. And there are people on this campus that's going to write F and have to hand it back to you. So use paragraphs, and use a lot of paragraphs. Okay, so yes.
So you want a paragraph for each and every single one, like even if it was like the 5.
Yes, the five decision makers.
Okay.
5 decision makers. Okay. Grammar. Commas. Colon. Semicolon. Five decision maker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Paragraph. Has 2 capital. Paragraph. Has 2 E's. Because a lot of your papers I've written on there need more. Well, what I need is I don't want you to say, as to capital, they need money. And then go to another paragraph that says, as to ease, this is going to be easy. Explain it a little bit. Explain it what capital is. The capital is money that's necessary to invest to get a company started, a corporation started, a partnership started. But if you say they need the 5 decision makers, which are capital E's, taxation, control, liability, and as capital is this and E's is this, before you know it, you filled up a page, and it makes it hard to read. Now, it's not hard to read for me because I'm looking for it. But it's hard to read for your boss, and it's going to be hard to read for your 3rd and 4th year professors. When I get a paper, the only A in 2 classes, when I get a paper from Samantha, and I look at that paper, I just say, great. I can read it. This is going to be easy. And it takes me 30 seconds to grade it.